Good morning. The October 17th, 2023 meeting of the Charter Authorizing Panel is
Recording in progress.
Called to order. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Department of Education and ask that you please silence all of your electronic devices. The goal is to facilitate a fair and responsible hearing, so therefore I ask that each person speaking please state your name and title for the record. I ask that you continue to speak clearly into the microphone throughout your presentation for the benefit of the panel, this audience, and the viewing audience. The meeting is being live streamed and recorded, and a transcript of the meeting will be posted on the DESE website. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning to the panel members that are here and online. We have Dr. Wright McMurray online, as well as Ms. Newton. And we have a consent agenda before us today. If there's no questions, then I'll accept a motion to pass the consent agenda.
So moved.
Okay, so I have a motion by Mr. Baldwin and a second by Ms. Newton. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Dr. Wright McMurray?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, the motion passes. All right, Ms. Haywood, would you like to come up and give us the proceedings? Procedures.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kaylee Haywood and I'm with DESE Legal, and I'm just going to quickly review the proceedings and the procedure for how we move forward with the action agenda. Each party will have 20 minutes to present their amendment or request that they're asking for. Any opposition would then also have 20 minutes to present their side. And then if there is opposition, the applicant would have 5 more minutes to respond to any arguments of the opposition. As far as I know, we have not received any opposition to any of the requests today. All right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Just to state for the record, we will be reviewing the presentation for Garfield and then also Cross County today. District conversions and Premier have been removed from the agenda for today. We will revisit those next month, so I just want to put that on the record. And then Ms. Summons, are you ready with our first item?
Good morning, Dory Summons, DESE Charter Office. Cross County Elementary Technology Academy is requesting a waiver of the rules governing class size and teaching load, sections 3.01.3 and section 4.01 in Arkansas Code 617-812. Mr. Prince is representing Cross County School District.
Good morning. I'm Jessica Stacy, the principal for Cross County Elementary. We're here today seeking a class size waiver for our current 4th grade class to increase the individual class size of this grade to a maximum of 4 additional students through the 25-26 school year, when this class will complete 6th grade and move to our high school. We currently have 60 students total between our 2 4th grade classrooms. While this class has always been large, this year we had an increase in board-to-board transfers, along with 4 students who moved into our district and enrolled after school began on August 2nd, 2023, and 2 students who moved into the district and enrolled at the end of July. Also in late July, finding another teacher was not possible. We hired our final teacher, a 5th grade math teacher, at the very end of June, and she was the sole qualified applicant at the time. At our school, we have several items in place to help with having a class size that is a few students over the 28 per class limit for 4th grade. We have a special education teacher in the ELA classroom for an hour each day to support students with IEPs or other struggling students. We have our NIET system of support, which includes strong data-driven PLC meetings. Our master teacher conducts field testing with the 4th grade, where their progress and data are closely monitored and tracked before being presented to all of the teachers in our PLC meetings. So she's with the 4th grade students several times per week. And our district has implemented Kagan Cooperative Learning district-wide, which provides structures and accountability for students to learn from each other in small groups, which aids in managing a large class. With the implementation of these systems, we're confident that we can provide our students with high-quality instruction. Thank you for your time.
And I didn't want to interrupt you while you were speaking, but can I get you to swear that what you said? Yeah, it's okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So do you swear that the testimony you have given is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Do you have any questions, Mr. Baldwin?
So I appreciate the discussion,
Yes.
and I'm looking at your enrollment report, and it shows 61, I think it shows 61 in fourth grade.
So we do have one homeschool student who only spends about 40 minutes a day with us, and he's included in that number. So he's there just for the last 40 minutes of the day.
Is that 2 classes?
That's 2 classes, yes, 2 teachers.
Okay. That was my question. Thank you.
And what class is that student present for?
Science,
Science, okay.
yes.
Dr. Wright McMurray, do you have any questions?
I don't. I would like to thank the district for giving a very detailed explanation of how they're going to provide those additional supports to students that may have additional needs above their peers as they're increasing that enrollment. So that did answer the questions that I initially had in reviewing their materials.
Thank you. Ms. Newton? Ms. Newton, did you have any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, all right, thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? All right, if there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the request as stated.
Second.
Mr. Reynolds is coming up.
I was just gonna come up and give my legal review real
Okay.
quick. I did have one.
Sorry.
Just had one clarifying thing. So I spoke with the charter, and based on their rationale for their waiver and based on their plan, my recommendation would be that they rescind the 4.01 of the teaching load section of the class size and teaching load rules, and the accompanying statute that goes along with that section of rules, and just limit their waiver to section 3 of the class size and teaching load rules, which just deals with class size, and the accompanying standard 1A5. So it would leave 1A5, the waiver would leave 1A5 and include section 3 of the class size and teaching load rules, because that's really all they need. So I'll ask for the charter to verify that on the record, if they want to make that amendment, and then we can have a motion.
All right,
Sorry
thank
about
you.
that.
No, you're good.
That will work.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll go back to, if there are no more questions, then I'll entertain a motion.
What exactly did he say?
So,
Chair Sutherland.
Sorry.
so he was clarifying that it's basically just the class size section of the rules that they're waiving,
Okay.
not the teaching load portion. So the teaching load class size would be, in this case, you're looking at 28 students, and so they're going over that 28 students, as opposed to the teaching load, which would be 150 students a day. And so they're not waiving that portion, just the class size portion.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That's right. Thank you for explaining that.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I was explaining it from a standards perspective.
So in your request, are you gonna amend that, I guess, to remove the class size
Well,
waiver request and just have, because it's titled as both?
so the rules are both class size and teaching load is the name of the rules.
Okay.
And so that's the reason it's that way. But I'll let Mr. Reynolds.
Yeah, so section 3 deals with just class size. Section 4 of the rules deals with the teaching load. And the charter doesn't need, based on their rationale for their waiver, they don't need the teaching load section of the rules. So I'm asking that they limit their waiver to the class size section, which is section 3.
Which is section 4?
Section 3.
Section 3.
Section 3 is class size, section 4 is teaching load. The rules encompass both, but I'm just,
So we'd be waiving section 3.
right.
Any other questions online?
Chair, this is Sonia. How are you? A couple of things. One, having a bit of difficulty hearing panel discussions on our end. And then two, so just for my clarification, the initial motion that was sent forward, does that now need to be amended, or are we moving forward with that same motion?
I
I think we need to make a new motion.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit different, so I would make that motion that we allow you all to waive section 3, that's the rules governing class size, and accomplish your request of the 4 additional students.
And we would need to waive 1A5 too, the standard.
I too am having some problems hearing. I think I know generally what Mr. Baldwin's motion is, but there is some interruptions.
I think they're working on that now. Can you hear us now?
I can hear you. I can always hear you. I just couldn't understand all of what was being said.
So the motion was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but to waive section 3 of the class size and teaching load rules and standard 1A5.
Okay.
Do I have a second?
They may not have heard.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Oh, sorry.
okay.
I did. I seconded. I was
Okay.
on mute. Sorry.
Okay. All right, thanks. So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, which we don't have any. All right, then the motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, Ms. Summons?
Garfield Scholars Academy has submitted an application to establish an open enrollment charter school beginning in the 24-25 academic year. The charter will follow a traditional educational model. The applicant was asked to provide additional information, and they came before the panel in August. They're here this morning.
Thank you. All those who plan on testifying for the charter, if you stand and raise your right hand. All right, do you affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am Dr. Melanie Kennan. I am the chair of the Garfield Educational Foundation, and we were asked to take a look at some issues in our original application and answer some questions a little more fully for you. The first one, you have should have been given a copy of the new and improved budget. That budget was crafted along with Ken Rich, who's Director of Financial Services for APSRC, and so we're very comfortable with it and confident that it will provide us with the opportunities we need to educate those students at Garfield. You may ask how we were able to go from a shortfall in our original budget to a surplus. We streamlined the staffing model. We will have no rent in the first several years, so that freed up a lot of money. Our new location already has furniture, equipment such as classroom televisions, whiteboards, etc., playground, kitchen equipment that we will be able to utilize and not have to buy at this point. There are additional federal monies, which I was unaware of at the time, that can serve as revenues. And we made some salary adjustments to non-instructional personnel. So we were able to bring our first year surplus to $69,985.75, and our second year surplus was brought to $130,094.58. We were very careful and specific in adding our totals up for curriculum, et cetera, and we're able to really make a huge difference in that. We also budgeted for 150 students. You asked us what our bottom line was, and the bottom line is 80 students. We have, in order to, if we don't get more than 80 students, then the way we would address that is to combine grade levels when possible, which fits into our model anyway of multi-age grouping, streamlining staff in that way. We would scale back the teams approach until we got more students, and outsource janitorial services. So those were some of the ways that we thought that we would be able to open the doors, 80 students and above, if we needed to. Now, having said that, according to, I want to also speak about the pool of students that we have in that general geographic area. According to the Rogers Public School Attendance Zone, there are 116 elementary students in Garfield School Zone. This year, Garfield Elementary has 91 students that are currently enrolled in that area. Many of them had gone ahead and transitioned into the Rogers School District, knowing that that was on the horizon with the closing of the school. We have about 10 to 15 students that are school choicing to Pea Ridge currently. However, within that large geographical area in the Garfield zone, there are 1,050 children who are potential students for Garfield Scholars Academy. Little Flock has a pool of 532 students. Avoca has a pool of 250 students. Grace Hill has a pool of 395 students. And as we distributed, we put out a survey to families on Facebook, through the water bill in Garfield, in various avenues. And as we distributed the survey to determine potential enrollment and the sustainability of Garfield Scholars Academy, we found great interest in having a local school, particularly one that meets the needs of this agricultural community. We also found homeschool parents who now wanted their children to attend Garfield, as well as interest from parents who live in Eureka Springs and drive past the school on US 62 to work in Rogers every morning. Currently, the results of our survey, I'm happy to announce, show that families of 84 students who want to attend Garfield Scholars Academy in the 24-25 school year and beyond. We did a study that looked at 3 years out. So we have a pool of students for 3 years that would transition through. If we're approved today, we think that that number will grow greatly when the residents see that Garfield Scholars Academy is on schedule to become a reality for them. We've budgeted for a cap of 150 students in the first year, 175 in year 2. As I said, I sat down with Ken Rich, Director of Finance Services at APSRC, and we carefully crafted a conservative budget and calculated how many students we would need. And that number again is 80. Geographically, if you look at the Garfield School Zone, it covers a lot of area. It's huge. and encompasses many communities. Benton County enjoyed a 28.4% growth according to the last census and is on target to exceed that in the 24-25 school year. For example, we also know that, just one example, we've got 175 new homes that are going in Avoca as we speak. Those are just minutes away from the school site. We see great potential for growth for Garfield Scholars Academy, as Rogers is essentially landlocked and families are moving out north of Rogers into those rural communities. Okay, you had some questions about our school site. We have been blessed with a site in the First Baptist Church for the first and second year if we want it and beyond. We understand that there are currently several approved schools, charter schools, that are operating in church facilities. And we, as we stated before, we will make every effort to make sure that those things that are religious in nature are hidden or not a part of the school. But this church has graciously offered their expansive facility for $1 a year in rent as a way to help their community. And we will also be paying any additional utilities incurred by the over and above what's incurred by the church. And so that has allowed us some breathing room with our budget. If the current school complex at Garfield Elementary School comes up for sale, that was a question, and is affordable, we will entertain the idea of transferring to that existing building if and when that happens. If the current building is not affordable or will be too expensive to purchase and renovate, then we have a resident in Garfield that has offered a 20-acre tract of land on which we could build a school. So we would start a capital building campaign and stay at the Baptist Church until such time as a new school can be built with very little debt. Okay. Another question that we had was about our fiscal services. We are contracting with APSRC to handle all of our back office operations for at least the first 2 years until we get an employee adequately and effectively trained, and APSRC will assist us with this ongoing training. Student services such as eSchool and Congos will be handled by the office manager / clerical staff who has 20 years experience with these systems in the front office of a large school district in the state. As far as our library media services, that was also a question. We will have a 3-day-a-week librarian who will handle the DCTE standards, the library media standards, and we will make every attempt to hire a certified school librarian, which would be our preference. We want to do things the right way. We don't want to circumvent any of that if we can help it. We will consult with DESE's program advisor to school libraries and seek their support as we make selections about what we should put in the library and set up selection and challenge policies with their direction. Professional development monies have been set aside and written in this budget for training on library media standards to our classroom teachers as well. So there will be an embedding of those additionally into the curriculum. Another question came about DCTE standards and how those would be addressed. Our team's approach will give all students opportunities.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say we've lost internet, so two of our board members are no longer present. So, or I guess we're gonna have to wait
For a few minutes?
for a few minutes to
Yeah,
see what's
okay.
going on.
Okay.
All right.
At what point did we lose internet?
I just noticed it about a minute, 2 minutes ago. So
Okay.
sorry.
It
Sorry.
was about when you were talking about the building.
Yes.
I think that's
About the
when it-
building. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So we'll just put it on pause until we
Okay.
get him back on.
I don't have a song and dance, I'm sorry. Wasn't prepared for that. Could we possibly get them on conference call?
Yeah. Yeah, we can ask Sonia if she can get on conference call. Yeah. No, Dory may have a.
You still down? Yeah, just, yeah. You can only do what you can do. That's right. We may not have been meant to meet today. Yeah. We'll just do it all next month. But we got one. Sorry about this. Sorry.
arresting people, and then got on the road. There was a wreck in Benton and a wreck in Bryant, and then a van that was stalled up here on Martin Luther King, so it took me an hour and 45 minutes to get to work. Gracious. So they have like a specific set of assessments. I don't know exactly which ones they are, but assessment would be able to tell us. Yeah. Right, but I mean, I guess it's probably helpful if they know what's out there. Yeah. Yeah, assessment over there can probably help you. Looks like we're back up. We're just waiting on our.
Now is everybody frozen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the best part of Zoom is when it freezes and you have that look on your
Yeah.
face and that you're there for 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. Just waiting for our reporter to come back. Yeah. There we go. Yes, I think.
Ready, set, go?
Dr. Wright McMurray, can you hear us?
Can.
Okay. Miss Newton, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. We'll let you get started again.
Okay. Where would you like for me to start? What was the last that you heard? Dr. Wright McMurray, do you?
You were sharing about the building and where, if opportunity presented itself, then you would pursue getting the school building
Gotcha.
out further beyond where you are now. And I think
Okay.
you were giving a little more detail on that, and then we lost audio.
Okay. All right. So the church building, that facility has been offered to us for $1 a year. We will pay all the utilities over and above what the church normally operates on. If the current school complex housing, the Garfield Elementary School, comes up for sale and is affordable, then we may be able to transition into that existing building. If the current building is not affordable, too expensive, or to purchase and renovate, then we have a resident in Garfield that has offered a 20-acre tract of land to be donated, on which we could build a school.
Recording in progress.
So we would begin a capital building campaign and stay in the Baptist Church until such a time as a new school could be built with little or no debt. As far as fiscal services, we have contracted with APSRC to handle all of our back office operations for at least 2 years of operation until we get an employee adequately and effectively trained. APSRC will assist us with that ongoing training. Student services such as e-school and Congos will be handled by the office manager / clerical staff who has 20 years experience with these systems in the front office of a large school district in which they're working currently, and have expressed an interest in coming to work for us. Another question had to do with library media services. We intend to have a 3-day-a-week librarian, and we'll make every attempt to hire someone who is a certified school librarian. That is our preference. We want to make sure that we do things the right way for our students. We will consult with DESE's program advisor for school libraries and seek their support as we make selections for what is to be put in the library and set up those selection and challenge policies. We have also written into the budgets professional development monies for the training of library media standards for our classroom teachers. We had a question about the DCTE standards, and our team's approach will give all the students opportunities to explore different careers and interests and participate in entrepreneurial business experiences for skill development, like writing business plans and setting up budgets, those kinds of things. Keyboarding and technology skills are to be embedded in K-5 classroom curriculum, and we understand that we will need to have standalone courses as students approach middle school to address career readiness and other DCTE standards. So we are thinking forward in terms of as we add grade levels, what we will need to have in place. And I believe those were all of the questions that you put forward for us.
Thank you. Mr. Baldwin, did you have any further questions?
So thank you for responding to our questions. I think that's a comprehensive response. And specifically on the revision of the budget, that was very helpful for me to look at. And I did go through the revised budget, and I laid your old budget next to it. So I went line by line, and I was comfortable with the changes you all had made. I think you probably dug into the numbers a bit and reconsidered some things.
We did.
And so I appreciate that. Also, one of my questions was on number of students, and I like I like that you did a survey and that you've given us a break-even number of 80 students, and it looks like you're expecting 84 students just right now.
Just right now.
So you would be,
I think that number will go up dramatically once, once they know that it's going to be a reality.
yes, and I don't live far from Garfield, so I did drive up to your community, and I saw the church, and I saw the old school building and the new subdivisions being built. So I do know that Garfield is a growing area. I think you mentioned 175 new houses being built in the area. So I do think that
And that's just one example.
yes, there's more, but I think your estimate of students will actually be much higher than the estimate based on what I am seeing once you get up and running. So maybe those are statements, not questions, but I did appreciate your response to the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Wright McMurray?
And I would say we're still having I will say for myself, I'm still having a bit of difficulty hearing when my colleague, Mr. Baldwin, makes his comment. So I'm going to apologize if I say anything that he has asked in that process. So again, thank you guys so much for going back and talking a little bit more and responding to our questions. I do appreciate you taking that time and that space to do that. So I did hear you say that you guys went back and you did work with APSRC, and you do anticipate working with them
Yes, ma'am.
even going forward. I was trying to see in the budget where that is accounted for.
It's under fiscal services. That's,
Okay.
yeah, that's 60,000.
Okay, that answers that question. And then also, it sounds like you did a little bit more work and being a bit more intentional on identifying your students and where they're coming from and what you anticipate will be your I guess, your population of students to draw from. Do you mind just giving a little bit more detail on how you plan to do some active recruiting of those students so that they're aware that you're there, that they know to seek you out for enrollment?
Part of what we did, my partner in crime, Joy Sawyer, has gone to some of the festivals that they hold up in that area where you see a lot of families coming, and we have put out information about the possibility of a school. That's how we got a lot of the response from those families on the survey. Additionally, we've also put out information in the water bill for the residents of Garfield, and also we have plans to do a mass mailing and other opportunities that we see up there to recruit students and make sure that all the little areas we've gotten on those pages, Facebook pages of Avoca and Gateway, that they have, and put out information about the school. So, Joy, did you want to add anything?
Yes. I have also been in conversations with the local newspaper in Pea Ridge, the KNWA television station up there has been very involved in following this story about the Garfield. So once we are approved, we will let them know. They will announce. We will get our online presence, website, and all of those things going, pretty quickly, because we do want to start the enrollment process in November, so that they have until about February, to get enrolled. And our local radio station up there, KURM, Melanie did a spot with them on Friday last week, and we will notify them as well, and they will begin helping us. So we do have, and then of course we have the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette that is following the story. So we do have several, media outlets and things up there too that just through reporting will be promoting us, and we feel like our enrollment will increase just once the story is out there that we're going to exist. So.
And we had a lot of interest generated from that radio interview, and we had one of the moms as well was interviewed about her reasons for having that local school. And so, as Joy said, we think the interest is there, and we'll be able to generate even more interest.
Mm-hmm. Other questions? Dr. Wright McMurray?
No, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Ms. Newton?
I, too, have had some difficulty hearing primarily Mr. Baldwin and the speakers, but I think I have enough information to be concerned about the recruitment and the possibilities of having the students needed. It just seems the plan is looser than I'm comfortable with. There is a lot of sure interest, and I heard you talk about the parents driving through, and that's a significant number that you're depending on. But that's one of the things that concerns me. It doesn't appear as solid as I would be comfortable in moving forward in terms of what the commitment is and what the student body will actually look like.
We have 84 students whose families have signed up on the survey indicating that they want to be a part of the school. The pool of students that we have is 1,050 in that area, who, there were several homeschool parents that signed up and have indicated interest, in some from Eureka Springs, but those are small in number, yes. But we have a solid 84 that are ready to come, and we need only 80 to be able to function fiscally and responsibly with our budget.
And I have looked at the surveys also. The parents that have shown interest that will be coming from Eureka Springs are not included in that survey.
Okay.
They did not fill the survey out. I did not really actively post it on Eureka Springs, Facebook pages and things like that. There are just a lot of questions coming through, as can anybody in Arkansas attend the school? We may be interested because we drive by there. So that is not included. Those people from Eureka Springs are not included in that 84 number.
Did you have any other questions, Ms. Newton?
No, I don't.
Okay. Mr. Baldwin, did you have any other questions?
I don't.
Dr. Wright McMurray?
No, I don't have any further questions.
Oh, I was just asking if you had any other questions.
No, I don't. Can you not hear me?
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
All right, if there are no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay, I'll move that we approve the charter application as presented. I believe you all have answered our questions, and I do think you've done a thorough job of looking at as best you can students, and I believe the students will be there, so I'm supportive of that.
Thank you.
So we have a motion by Mr. Baldwin. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second by Dr. Wright McMurray. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Any abstentions? Ms. Newton, I'm not sure if I heard your vote.
Aye.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you very much. All right, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take just a few minutes to fill out our voting sheets, and then we'll come back with those. right, we'll start with you, Mr. Baldwin.
Okay, yes, thank you. I voted, I voted for the charter application, and I believe that a local elementary school in Garfield is good now and will be needed in the future even more. And I do believe the students will be well served by this action.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Newton.
I have some problems with my voting sheet, but I voted for the amendment that is a logical plan for student recruitment and enrollment.
Thank you very much. Dr. Wright McMurray.
I voted for. I support the charter application. Garfield Scholar Academy has offered a well thought out plan to meet the needs of students in their community, which includes career technical education in the early grades. I'm encouraged by their community support and look forward to positive outcomes for their students.
Thank you. And then I voted for the application. I believe that Garfield Scholars Academy will be an important part of the community, enhance educational opportunities, and will enable students to go to school in the community in which they live. Thank you very much, and congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. All right. If there's no other new business, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right.
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right. Thank you very much. Y'all have a great day.
Recording stopped.